All right, hello. Um, 314 has just wrapped up. It was inspirational. I started crying, unironically. Um, yeah, there was like, I couldn't ask for more perfect card. Now I didn't get everything right, but I was happy with the results. There was good fights, and I think that's all that matters really. I was thoroughly entertained, and that's what it should be about. I I thought Volkanovski was done, and now I can actually see him going on fighting for another 2 or 3 years, and I'm delighted. I could see him having another 3 fights in his career. I can really see him just going until he loses the title again. But if he wants to retire with the belt, that's up to him. I do think, though, at some point they should do the rematch between Lopez and Volkanovski, because that was close. Because there was some rounds where it was razor thin. Do you know what I mean? There was some rounds where it was razor thin. So I would like to see that rematch in the future. I think Lopez could have won it if he just stepped on the gas a bit more in the final 2 rounds. If in the 4 and 5th he just threw more, because it was clear like he could take a punch from Volkanovski and not worry about getting chinned. Now, of course, he was rocked at some moments, but I'd like to see the rematch. I'd like to see how both of them would like adjust. All right, I'm just gonna go down. I'm gonna go from Volkanovski to the first fight. I can't remember. Was that Haley Cohen? Don't remember that one. That was boring. Um. So yeah, unanimous decision. I think everyone like kind of picked that for Volkanovski to win by. Um. Yeah, you can just see the amount of like strikes differentials, but you have to think. Does it show knockdowns? Yeah, Diego Lopez knocked him down once. I think it was round 2, I believe. Yeah, it was round 2. Let's see the stats real quick, just so I make sure. I'm pretty sure like Volk outstruck him nearly every round. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's a decent call. But the thing is, Lopez was hurting Volk. He hurt him bad at the end of round 2, and Volk was kind of saved by the bell. I think he was saved by the bell. I don't know. I'll just say he is. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But Volkanovski's back. This is the Volkanovski that fought Brian Ortega. This is the Volkanovski that fought Yair Rodriguez. I think Volk's next fight should be Evloev, but I think Evloev is fighting Aaron. Is it Aaron Pico? So I think he's fighting Aaron Pico. I think Diego Lopez should fight Yair Rodriguez. I don't think Rodriguez should get a title shot just yet. I think he needs 1 or 2 more wins to like really prove, because he's lost a few times. You know what I mean? So I'd really like to see Lopez versus Rodriguez, and the winner of that get the next shot. All right, moving on to the next fight. I called this to a T. I said everyone was expecting Paddy Pimblett to like catch a sub, but Paddy Pimblett's striking is actually really good. As we've seen in the Bobby Green fight, he knows distance management. He knows how to pick his shots. And I called that like Michael Chan. I don't know if I called it in the video, but I'll just assume I did. I can't remember. I thought to myself, Paddy could catch him with a knee up the middle. And bear in mind, I was thinking of a flying knee, but he just hit him with a regular knee. So I'll just take that as a win. Yeah, Paddy Pimblett battered him for 3 rounds straight and then finished him on the ground. I saw Dustin Poirier's reaction. He looked at the same time happy, but kind of livid, because it kind of embarrassed him a little bit as well. But I really do think Paddy is a problem at lightweight. I think we haven't. He's still young. That's the thing. He's only 30. He's still getting better. Like, look at Charles Oliveira. He wasn't as good as he is now until he was like 33, 34. You know what I mean? So it's scary to think how good Paddy Pimblett could get. This could be an actual challenge for Islam, but I think we'll have to just see how his jiu-jitsu fares against like Charles Oliveira and Arman Sarukian and all that. But I think the next fight for Paddy Pimblett is Dustin Poirier. I think that's a brilliant next fight for him, because I think Justin Gaethje is next up for a title shot. Charles might want to rematch Arman Sarukian. Dustin, I think. Paddy Pimblett, you know. It'd be a good sending off for Dustin Poirier, I think. So I'd like to see that fight for Paddy Pimblett. Michael Chandler, is this his like third straight loss in a row? Fourth? I think it's his third. I think he won one, lost one, then won one, and then is on a 3-fight losing streak. I think that's how the time, or 4-fight losing streak now. Actually, now that I think of it, yeah, I think yeah. So I think Michael Chandler's next fight should be let's say Mauricio Rufy. I think Mauricio Rufy is a good call for Michael Chandler. Mauricio Rufy or Benoit Saint-Denis, if he wins his next fight. I think that'll be a class fight. So, moving on. This fight was so disappointing. But fair play to Yair Rodriguez. He really embarrassed Bellator tonight, let me tell you. I don't know if it was like Pitbull got the like nerves about him. But like he did not throw anything until the third round. Like, he did not throw a single fucking punch. I don't understand what he was thinking. I was expecting him to rush in and kind of like land an overhand. He literally just kept distance, which is like the one thing a fella of his build should not do against a long-rangey striker, is keep your distance. I don't know what he was thinking. He should have kept it in the pocket in the clinch and like the Muay Thai clinch and tried to land like a big overhand. Or at least take him down. And he tried. He really did try, and he succeeded sometimes. But, yeah, I think if he were to fight this fight again, I think I would, like, have him, right off the bat, shoot a takedown and try latch up a sub. Just to get Rodriguez thinking about it, because he only did, like, a submission attempt at the end of, like, round 3. So, it's unfortunate. It looks bad for Bellator, but well done, Yair Rodriguez, former UFC champion, or interim champion, sorry. Who do I think both should fight next? I said Yair Rodriguez should fight Lopez. I think Pitbull should fight who's a good fighting featherweight at the moment? Pitbull top 10. You know, give him John Silva. I could see that being a good fight. John Silva versus Patricio Pitbull. You know, I could see that actually being a really good fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. John Silva versus Patricio Pitbull. I think that'd be more like a good showcase for Patricio Pitbull's abilities. Because I don't know if they're training partners now. They're both Brazilian. I don't know. But I think that'd be a class fight. Yeah, that's really it. You know. Well done, Yair Rodriguez. Probably going to fight Lopez. I might win that fight actually. I don't know. Oh, John Silva got performance in the night. Nice. Alright. Bryce Mitchell and John Silva. I completely overrated Bryce Mitchell. I'm sorry for that. I just saw footage of John Silva getting taken down and I just assumed, oh yeah, shit, takedown defense. I should have remembered what I'm dealing with. You know, I doubted his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when he's Brazilian. Like, what am I thinking? Rookie mistake from me. I apologize. It'll never happen again. You should never doubt a Brazilian if on their Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Alright, Bryce Mitchell, I think his next fight should be, I don't know at this point, man. Who could he even fight? Who's in the top 15? I can't even think of a good fight for him, to be honest. I think a good fight for him would be Dan Ige, I believe. I think that'd be a good fight, Bryce Mitchell. Dangerous, though, because he's chinny, but it's the only fight on the card, like, that makes sense. Like, he's up on the rankings. I don't know if he's going to get demoted to, like, 14 or 15. I don't know like what the rankings are going to look like. But I know that Dan Ige is behind him, so I'm going to go with Dan Ige as his next fight. Because he needs to fight down. It's either Dan Ige or, like, a Nathaniel Wood or something, you know? Alright, moving on. If I can hurry up. God damn, I hate this website. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes actually seems like he's coming back. I think it only took him 8 punches, and it was a slick counter left, I believe, or counter right, I can't remember. But it was very similar to Conor McGregor's knockout of Jose Aldo.
He's a sausage.
Apologies for the cut. Something just fucking exploded in my house, so had to go tend to that. I am not dead, as it seems. Um, ready to die for this. Yeah, Dominic Reyes hit a very clean counter of just I think it was a counter left as Nikita Krylov was blitzing in. I did say knockout round 1 or 2, but I didn't envision that amount of like power from Dominic. I think a good next fight for Reyes would be a winner of Cahill and Jamal Hill. I think that the winner of that should fight Dominic, and then winner of that title in the mare, and then winner of that title shot. I don't see him getting a title shot after this, but I know there's a lack of, clear challengers for Ankalaev right now. I think that could be the fight of the year, though. Reyes did fight Ankalaev before and took him to a very close decision, very close. I would say, I think this Reyes beats Ankalaev, unironically. I do think this Reyes could beat Ankalaev. I would love to see this Reyes versus Pereira. That would be a very fun fight. I think Pereira beats him, though, just stylistically. Alright, so good job, Dominic Reyes. He literally outstruck him with everything. Yeah, it was probably knockout of the night. I don't know why he didn't get a performance bonus after that. Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. I called this to a T. Dan Ige clipped him at the end of round... No, it was beginning of round 3. Sean Woodson was kind of using his height to like really evade Dan Ige's punches. And I don't know who had Sean Woodson winning the fight. I think Dan Ige was clearly up 2-0 on the scorecards. I thought it was like clear. Because Sean Woodson was landing, but he was like landing the same amount as Dan Ige, and he was moving back a ton. So I think, and like Ige got the takedowns. It was very clear Dan Ige was 2-0 on the scorecards, for me at least. Hold on, let me just recap. Let me just look at the stats. So round 1, he gets outstruck. That's a bad round, okay, I'll admit. Alright, never mind. Oh yeah, no, round 1, okay, never mind. I retract that statement. Round 2 was clear Ige, though, in my opinion. Yeah. He gets the takedown. Huh? He got a takedown, though, did he not? He had him on his ass, though, did he? Ah, fuck it. I'll just say he did. Let's just say he did. I was 90% sure he got a takedown on Sean Woodson. I can't remember. Oh well, Ige won. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was 1-1 heading into the last round, I'd say. Was it round 3 he got a takedown? No, oh, Jesus. Dementia is setting in already. It was the Apex card. Blame that. Alright, good job, Dan Ige. I think a good fight for Dan Ige is obviously, I said it earlier, Bryce Mitchell. Sean Woodson, move up a division, man. You're a huge lightweight. You'd be a huge lightweight. Why are you in featherweight? You're like... I don't know how hard it is for him to cut the weight, but that's going to catch up to him at some point. You know what I mean? That's going to catch up to him. People were saying this was an early stoppage. I did not think it was an early stoppage. I think it was a bit of a late stoppage, if you think about it. Like, Sean Woodson was clearly not answering back when he got hit in the back of the head. Like, not back of the head, side of the head. It was clear side of the head. When he got hit in the side of the head, he just wasn't answering. He was just kind of clinching. It was similar to the Drew Dober and Manuel Torres fight. So, yeah. I think Sean Woodson should move up a division. I think that would be a clear, good move for him. Because he has the strength, I think, to defend the takedowns from lightweights. Alright, moving on. This one I got dead. Well, actually, no, I did say Verda Jandaroba would get a very boring decision. But it wasn't even that boring. It was alright, She was doing something with the takedown. She was trying submissions and she was trying strikes. But yeah, I said Yan Shannon KO, but I did say that Verna Jandaroba's like path to victory if she wants to win this. Make it very boring. Make it very, very boring. And just grapple and just hold her down. But in fairness, she actually made it entertaining. It was a pretty fun fight. I don't know who the grappling coach is for Yan Xiaonan, but I think I would sack them. I think I'd get like a new guy in and like teach them more efficient like energy conserving tactics or something. Cause she was like bollocksed by the end of like round two. She was utterly bollocksed. I didn't expect that. I think Verona Jandaroba and Wei Li Jiang is close, but I still think Wei Li Jiang would probably batter her at the end of round four. I can see Jandaroba's gas tank giving up a little bit. I think just Wei Li Jiang is too strong. I think a good next fight for Yan Xiaonan is probably someone like I don't know anyone in the rankings in the fucking women's divisions. Uh, just a layup win. Just get a layup win because I feel like she's good. Probably rematch. I know women's fighters, but I just get confused with the divisions. I don't keep up with it. I don't know if she's in the same division as her, but maybe Rose Namajunas. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Rose Namajunas. I think. I don't know if she's moved divisions or not, but I'm just gonna assume. So yeah, I think that should be a next fight, and then Fernand Jandaroba going to fight Wei Li Jiang. Jim Miller and Chase Hooper. This was arguably for me fight of the night because it was just. No, it wasn't fight of the night, but for me it was most entertaining because I love watching like really two really good grapplers just like grapple, and then attempted punch when they like their grappling fails. They just kind of cancel each other out and they just attempt to strike with each other. It was very entertaining. Jim Miller was looking good until I think he got gassed out when Chase Hooper hopped on his back and just started beating the ever-living shit out of him. I think that gassed him out, and I think that was when Chase Hooper really started to take over. He got 8 of 14 takedowns. That's very good. Against Jim Miller, of all people. Jim Miller tried to jump to Gilly and try and be silly, but Chase Hooper saw right through it and then just got top position and just dominated the fight. I see Chase Hooper being a problem, with especially his height. If he learned some decent striking, he could be a problem. I could see Chase Hooper versus Paddy Pimblett being a very good fight in the future now. Like not now, like in 3 years down the line. I can see that being a really good fight. See how Paddy responds to like a taller opponent. Alright, so Jim Miller, I think he should retire. I think actually no, he looked good, so I don't know if he should retire. But definitely fight someone lower in division. Fight who could he fight? I don't really know. There's no one I can really think off the top of my head. Loser of Benoit Saint-Denis and that other guy. I can't remember the other guy's name. I think he should fight the loser of that. Alright. This one I was dead wrong. I thought Darren Elkins would have the IQ to not get upkicked. But, you know. He was doing well until that upkick just caught him. I think Darren Elkins should be forced into retirement. He looked very bad that fight. Julian Erosa, you know, I just want to like have a little side rant. I got a bit annoyed when Julian Erosa, I believe, is trained by Eric Nixick, I believe his name is, and that's the same coach for Sean Strickland. When Sean Strickland lost to Dreykus, Eric was like, he went on an interview and he said, I only train world champions. Is this the world champion you're talking about, Eric? Is he a world champion in your eyes? Do you think he's going to be Alexander Volkanovski? Do you think he's going to be Diego Lopez? I don't think so. So, good luck with that championship prospect, Julian Erosa, 35 years old. Good job, Julian. I'm being salty. I think Darren Elkins should be forced into retirement. It was actually kind of scary looking at him like moving the ring. It actually looked like an average guy in the ring there, and I was like actually scary because Darren Elkins used to actually be good, and it's just the damage over time. It's just worn him down. All right, moving on. Cedric Dumas versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. See, I'm getting better at this now. I was listening to the commentary team. Cedric Dumas, I called this to a T. Michal Oleksiejczuk was chin him early, and I thought it was a bit of an early stoppage, but I wasn't complaining because I said Michal Oleksiejczuk rounds 1 or 2. I think it would have ended up the same anyway because he did hurt him bad, but I feel like Cedric could have recovered there. But I felt like the result would be the same either way, nonetheless. So well done, Mikhail Olasejic. I think next fight for him would be like I think a Shara Bullet rematch would be good. I think that would be a good fight for him. You know, a bounce back win for Shara Bullet, and you know Michael Olasejic coming off a big win. I actually could see that happening. A Shara Bullet rematch. All right, moving on. I thought Mitch Raposo won this fight. If you look at the strikes, right, it doesn't look good. But if you look at the control time and takedowns, I think there's an argument for Mitch Raposo taking this. Because if you look at just the stats, it says 13 to 78. But Mitch Raposo was moving and being more active and like he was moving around. He was like on the back foot, but he was like keeping the fight high paced. He was keeping the pace going. Sumo Dereji was just kind of being like just standing there throwing a jab every now and then and a leg kick. I think there was a genuine argument for Mitch Raposo to win this fight. Because he did rock Sumo Dereji bad in, I believe it was round 1 or 2. And then he rocked him again in round 3. He wasn't throwing a lot, but the punches he was like landing clearly hurt Sumo Dereji. So I think there was an argument. And I know this sounds hypocritical because of my Torres Finney opinion like a few weeks ago. If you just look at the stats, it's pretty much the mirror image of Torres Finney. But the problem is, Torres Finney, all he did was the takedowns. He didn't move around the ring. He didn't like change levels. He literally got up, threw a lazy jab, and dived for a leg. And then just held him there. He didn't get a takedown at all. Just picked him up, thrown him down. Your man got up, picked him up, thrown him down, and then he gassed himself out and just held him there. I think Mitch Raposo was a bit robbed here in this fight. I think they only gave it to Sumo Dereji because I think he's a fan favourite. So, I know, looking at the stats, it sounds like I'm insane, but the fight I watched, I thought Mitch Raposo won. Am I insane? I might be wrong. Heh. Alright. Tresean Gore versus Marco Tulio. This was a bit of a Star is Born moment for Marco Tulio. I think he's definitely someone to look out for in the future. Just the strike difference. Jesus Christ. I think Tresean Gore looked alright in this fight. He had Marco Tulio hurt in some instances, but I feel like it was just not enough to like really warrant any round winning. I think Marco Tulio absolutely pieced him up on the feet, and then he just got caught with one, and then just kind of adjusted. That finish though was insane when he did was it a spin kick and then a Superman punch? And then he hit my body shot and then Tresean Gore went down. I can definitely see Marco Tulio. Actually, you know what? I think a good fight to make for Marco Tulio would be Shara Bullet. I think that'd be a class fight, actually. Actually, yeah, I retract my statement about Michael Olasejic. I'm actually going to go with Marco Tulio fighting Shara Bullet next. I can really see that fight like being a really good fight. Like probably a fight of the night or a really early knockout. That'd be a really class fight, I think. Alright. Tresean Gore, I think, honestly, should be cut from the UFC. I don't really see him and anyone else he can fight. But fair play to him, he did alright, I guess. Over at the end. Norcanol submitted Haley Cohen. I nearly got this fight right. But Haley Cohen just had the IQ of a raisin in round 2 for some reason. She did the worst judo throw I've ever seen in my life and ended up on bottom position. Round 1 it was clear like Haley Cohen was dominating, and then she just whiffed a fucking takedown and ended up on bottom, and then Nora Canal just latched up a sub. She just gave her top position. But yeah, I think Haley Cohen has potential to be a good fighter, but she just needs to get IQ up and just the technique. I still don't think Nora Canal is going to do a lot more in this division. She came into this fight overweight. I think if she moves up a division, she's going to be out like wrestled majorly. And even in this division, she's being out wrestled majorly. So I just don't see her like doing anything of substance. So that's, Haley Cohen, I think she might get cut from the UFC, but I don't know. There's not that many women's prospects, so I think they might keep her and see if she does anything interesting. But I'd say bantamweight. Who's in bantamweight? I don't know. I couldn't tell you like who these could fight next. So yeah, that was my main recap of VOLK and Lopez. Tell me what you think. It's a lot of fights, so I'm fucking mind has gone numb talking about them. We did well. We did well. We did I think we got 4 wrong, 4 or 5. So better than last week. And I did call them big fights, so that's something. Um, I might be wrong. I have to plug that now. It's probably in the corner somewhere. I'll do next week. I'm gonna do my predictions for Ian Gary and Carlos Prates, and I actually have an interesting opinion about that now. One of the fights on this card has actually given me a very interesting opinion on that. So I might do it. I might be wrong. Pick of the night next for Ian Gary and Carlos Prates. I have a very interesting opinion. Okay, see yous.